Hello folks, welcome to, I think this is part 6 of Let's Play AGEOD's Civil War game. Looks like this is going to be a pretty exciting turn, the first really exciting turn, possibly, of the game after all that setup. So let's dive right into it. Here in Missouri, I'm just getting things organized. I set this little militia unit to sit inside Jefferson City. You see he disappears when I click off of him because I set him inside the city, which is often not a great thing to do because if a Confederate unit came up, he could besiege that unit inside the city and might starve to death. We haven't gone over supply yet, but suffice to say, if you siege a city, supplies can't easily get into it. But my idea here is to have units inside Jefferson City and inside Rolla, so if Confederates do come, I'll have a large force here in St. Louis, so they may besiege one of these two cities, and then I'll attack their besieging force from St. Louis. So I'm setting up units inside there, and I'm pulling everybody back to St. Louis, where I'm going to mass an army to come down and attack in this direction, Springfield and Fayetteville. So I'm just getting things organized over there. We still have some units that I created earlier streaming into St. Louis. And these... Let me find one. These blue militia units have finally come active, so I have them moving towards St. Louis as well, the ones here in the western part of the country. What else is going on here in the east? This is where things are really exciting. My attack of Manassas, which got cut off at the end of the last video, didn't result in a battle. What it resulted in is I am currently besieging Manassas. So all these units that I sent there, I'm going to put them all on defensive mode and let them wait until maybe they can get a breach in the defenses, which during the next turn we'll get a message telling us if that happens or not. So I'll have these guys defend and just besiege Manassas until later on I'll attack it and hopefully take the city. Another smallish, but important thing going on over here in the east is that this force that I raised quite earlier is finally all ready. All these units have finally finished training, so I'm going to put them on these boats. You see this is a stack of boats that includes a couple transport boats, so I'm able to put units into them. And now I'm going to transport all these boats down here, all these units down here to Fort Monroe to bolster the defenses down there. Fort Monroe is not under attack right now, but oftentimes it does come under attack, so I'm sending those troops there to make sure we hold it. Now, to the really exciting part, if you see these units, these are white ones, are all the Confederate units that are moving around, and they're scaring me a little bit. This general down here, I'm not quite sure what he's doing. He may be coming up to try to relieve Manassas. Hopefully these guys can hold him off if that happens. And most scarily, Joe Johnston's large force has moved up from the Shenandoah into southern Pennsylvania. I'm not quite sure what he's doing. He may be heading for these railroads to try to cut him, but from this position he could go to Pittsburgh or he could go east to Harrisburg. We'll find out what he does. And there's another force under another general that he really appears he could either go here to Grafton, which has very light defenses, and I'm sure he could take it right now if he wants to, or he could be heading up to Pittsburgh. This scares me because I had raised troops to defend Pittsburgh, but they're not there yet. I got one militia unit there and a few more coming in, but the artillery and stuff isn't done training yet, so I can't get them there in time. So what I am going to do to try to defend this area is I'm going to take Irvin McDowell, who I left in Alexandria. Remember when I sent these divisions off, I had pulled some troops out of them to reduce their command penalties. I had given all those troops to Irvin McDowell to create myself a little mobile force that I could move around to try to defend it exactly against things like this. So I'm going to take him and I'm going to railroad him up to Pittsburgh. I really don't want to lose Pittsburgh. If I lose Harrisburg, that stinks, but I think losing Pittsburgh would be a bigger loss for me. So I'm going to move him up to Pittsburgh in hopes of defending this area while I wait for the artillery and stuff I raised earlier to complete training, and I'll send them over there. That'll really give me a good defense of Pittsburgh, and I'll be able to move Irvin McDowell elsewhere once that's secure. But we'll find out what these two guys are really doing in the next interturn. I don't know. This guy may take Grafton, which would be a a loss. He may head up towards Pittsburgh, and he may get there before McDowell does, in which case we'd have some problems. So I don't know what Joe Johnston's doing. I think his is the strongest force in the area, but he seems to have gone straight north rather than heading towards Pittsburgh or anything. So he may be heading to these railroad lines to try to cut them. If he gets over here while McDowell is on the railroad, there may be a battle in this area between McDowell and Joe Johnston. And I imagine I'll probably lose that. This is a pretty strong force, and McDowell's not the greatest general, but we'll see. I'm doing the best I can, and I may lose a battle in the next turn. We'll find out. This balloon that popped up on its own down here in the Carolinas is still trying to walk to Washington, and it hasn't died yet, so that's nice. The only other thing going on this turn, and I won't go into all the details, but I raised a whole bunch of reinforcements, all in New England. A bunch of artillery, militia, some sharpshooters, and some regulars, to start putting together my force that I'm going to send down to New Orleans. So I've started training them. They won't be ready to go for a good 3 or 4 turns, but I raised them. And in order to do that, I went over here and clicked the mobilization button, which gave me a whole lot of conscription points that I used to raise these troops, and I still have a lot in the bank for me to use later. But for now, I'm just raising the troops for New Orleans. And it looks like, if you look up here, this railroad check mark has moved to the left because I'm using railroad points to move Irving McDowell up to Pittsburgh. So I'm going to go to the economics tab and grab some more railroad points to refresh that pool. And I think that's all I wanted to do this turn. It should be pretty exciting to see what happens when I click the end turn button. This time, this should be about 3 minutes to go in this video, so I hope that once I click end turn, you guys will be able to see this time the whole effect. So let's just, without any further ado, click the button and let units move, and we'll see where they go. So just be patient while the computer processes everything, and we'll see if maybe we get a battle. Okay, it should be starting very shortly. We'll start seeing these units move around as the inner turn. Here we go. So it looks like Joe Johnston's retreating. Both of them are pulling back. Oh, thank goodness. So there's no battle this turn, and we have avoided disaster. This could have been a pretty tight one for us. I don't know what the AI's purpose was in bringing those troops up to turn around and bring them home. But yeah, that's the end of that turn, and I guess the end of that video. That sound meant I should end it around now. Thanks for watching. Thanks for watching me avoid disaster in Pittsburgh, and I'll see you next turn in the next video.